like to ask Barry Stevenson, if he would, to lead us in a word of prayer, and then we'll get to the business at hand. Barry?
Thank you, Commissioner. That's right. Lord, thank you for this day that you've given us. I pray that you be with this commission today. Give them guidance and direction and wisdom in the decisions they make. I pray you continue to have your hand upon our county and lead us as we go throughout the day and the week this week. I praise your name. Amen.
Amen. I want to thank our Roads and Trans Department. All of the potholes are not repaired, but they're working on them very, very hard. And every time that we have one, and before I get a chance to make a request to get it repaired, they seem to have gotten repaired, and I get a thank you before I can make my ask. So, and it's not just my district, because we get them all. And Chris, I appreciate that, and I know all the commissioners do. Y'all do a great job in staying engaged and getting it done like it needs to be done. Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll go ahead and begin with our committees today. Hope everyone had a great weekend and you get to do that. Let's begin with Commissioner Scales. Good morning.
Good morning. For Public Works, Community Services, and Intergovernmental Relations Committee, we have no items under Board of Equalization, 3 items under Environmental Services. Do we have any questions from any commissioners at this time regarding those 3 items?
I move those items.
All right. It's been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. We have no items under General Retirement. 1 item under Human Resources. This is an amendment to Everett Scott Herron, who is the Deputy Director of Revenue, regarding his agreement with the county. Are there any questions as relates to that item? Item has been moved. I will second.
I will second.
You'll second it? Okay. All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
We have no other items at this time under Compliance, Personnel Board, nor District 1. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Tyson.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
We have Community Development and Health Services Committee. I'm going to skip all the way to the Department of Community Service. Dr. Hamilton.
I'm here for Dr. Hamilton.
Okay, come on.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We have 3 items today for your consideration. The first is the bridges at Hastings. This is a update to the preliminary award letter. They have received tax credits, and the only thing that needs to be updated to their original award letter is the date, because it has to be done within 6 months. And so that is the only change on that. Number 2 being a lien release for Gary Lee Jones and Lucy Jones. Their mortgage has been paid in full, and so that is just a lien release for that. And the third item being services from Widow Bryan for our emergency rental assistance program. This is an amendment to their original contract, so it'll give them an opportunity to do up to 3,500 cases for us.
Can I get a motion?
Moved items, Madam Chair, and I did have one quick question once it's moved and seconded.
I'll second the motion, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. So I want to be clear. According to what I'm looking at, we're saying $17 million to service 3,500 cases, and then Widow Bryan will receive 1.5 for their services. Is that right? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Madam
And
Chair.
first and second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I have some community please.
Move items 1 and 2.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I have first and second.
I'd second all of it.
I have a presentation with the second one. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I have a presentation from the VA Veterans Response Team.
Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning.
I'm Sergeant Timothy Yearwood with Birmingham VA. We're just here to, and I also have Kelly Arthur here with me. We're just here to Just kind of introduce to you all this program that we've started at the Birmingham VA Veterans, titled the VRTT Veteran Response Team. And it's been launched basically to be a link between our community first responders and link them with one source to where they can get our veterans in our community the help that they need, not only just crisis situations, but all types of situations. Our dispatchers are armed now with one specific number. We went around to just about every municipality within the county and then some on the outside, the Birmingham catchment, and basically introduce them and give these cards to each officer. And what it does is they can take their phone and they can scan a QR code, and it'll open up all the resources that are available. I spent 20 years on the streets, and I know how it is to come across one of our veterans and you don't really know what to do with them because it's not something that you would arrest them for, and it's 20 degrees outside, and then having to dial that 1-800 number. So now we kind of circumvented that. It's a direct number. Anytime that they call, somebody's going to answer the phone, and it'll link them up with the help that they need. We become mobile now, so we also can come out and then respond with our local law enforcement and assist in getting that veteran the help that they need. And also, it acts as a way, a lot of times, a lot of veterans won't respond to people that are not veterans. And so we send somebody out there that knows how to talk with them and maybe can de-escalate and talk it down. So it's a huge program. It's really taking off. One of the goals is when you encounter a veteran in crisis, and this doesn't just go for emergency police departments. EMS workers or family members can take this information. They can call that phone number, and even if it's not an immediate crisis, dispatch will link them up with somebody to get that person help no matter what the situation is. And we've already been active since last June, and we've pretty much had about 46 cases or so where we've assisted veterans in getting the help that they need. Our dispatch is also armed with a binder that's going to kind of showcase all the benefits that veterans have and the resources that are available. Also, a lot of our men and women have served and don't realize that they are veterans. So we're trying to get law enforcement to move away from asking the question, are you a veteran? Because a lot of people serve and maybe they didn't go overseas or they weren't deployed, and so they don't feel like they're a veteran. And so we're asking them now to ask the person, have you ever served in any branch of the armed forces? And that kind of resonated home, even if it was a 6-month stint or whatever. And if the way it works is once they call dispatch is going to arm them with our AOD, and AOD is going to be able to confirm their eligibility. Once we determine that person's eligible or their status, and then we can give them the information they need, or if it's a crisis situation, we can respond now. Also, dispatches also armed with our resources, our local resources, and statewide resources that may not directly be linked to veterans. So maybe this person isn't eligible for care at the VA, but we'll be able to arm the officer with other resources, 3 hots in a car. There are different things like that are available. Some of the homeless programs, JBS, some of the homeless programs that are available to help them to get the help that they need. So that main thing that we're asking is all of our law enforcement. And I think our biggest mountain that we're trying to climb is going to be in some of the rural areas where maybe they don't have as big a police department. And we want to reach out to them also and just be an asset to them in those times of, like I said, when they come in contact with one of our veterans. Once that officer screens the veteran, and we're asking everybody to please do this, once they screen the veteran and determine their status, then this is going to open up the door to a lot of possible resources. And it's also going to increase that officer awareness of what's going on, so the next time they come in contact with a veteran, maybe they'll know the route to do or what to do. So ultimately, we're trying to help our soldiers, our sailors, our Marines, Coast Guard, help them get the help that they need as they went out and then served our country. So this process, and I'm going to be real brief with this. Once they identify the serviceman as a veteran, then they're going to call that dispatch number, which is 205-212-3963. As I said, family members are welcome to call. Maybe they're dealing with a family member that's in a crisis that they know that they're a veteran. They can call that number. We're going to get them the help that they need. And I want to emphasize, even if it's not a crisis situation, we're still going to try to get them the help that they need. And then once dispatch will verify their eligibility, then we'll put that information out to them. Once eligibility is determined and the appropriate resource will be provided for the individual to consider. Prior to this, we have not had a great relationship with our local law enforcement, and that's probably because neither has reached out to each other. So we're taking that step, reaching out. We're also going to be, next week, matter of fact, we're going to be hosting our first crisis intervention class, 40-hour class on next week at the Birmingham VA out at the East Clinic at the mental health facility, and that's where I'm stationed at over there. So we've invited all of our local officers. I think I got some St. Clair County sheriffs that are going to be going through the class, and we just want to enter in this dynamic that we're in a different age of policing, and you need to be able to realize that people are dealing with a lot of issues prior to you getting on the scene. And so just teaching some techniques on how to de-escalate. Maybe we can bring down officer-involved shootings. Maybe we can further enhance relationships within the community with law enforcement. So that's another call that's going to be coming out of our Veterans Response Team, which we're going to be rolling out. And I think Mr. Riley is going to be assisting us in some of that training on next week also. So that's a big thing that we got going on. We are currently building our in-person crisis response team, and the mission is going to be to support veterans in crisis and also to help reduce the number of veteran suicides, increase participation in mental health treatment, which for years has been a stigma. We know people have issues. They know they have issues. They don't want to talk about it. We're trying to get to a point where they're open to talk about it and arm them with the people that they need to help them to get the help that they need. And it's not a shameful thing now. It's a thing where we know we have a crisis in our city, we have a crisis in our county and across the country, and we just want to recognize that crisis and try to get people the help that they need. We keep an active log of all the calls that we make, all the calls that we wind up responding to. And as I said, we're at about 40-something now since June, closing in on 50. I think it's around 46 or 48, and closing in on 50. We started this back in June, as I said. We were privileged to be able to speak at the city council on last week, and we thank Councilmember Tyson for just helping us out with that, getting that set up, and being able to speak at the city council. We're making our way around to most of the jurisdictions to just put this information out and try to get our veterans the help that they need. I do have some more cards. I'm not going to take up a lot more of your time, but if you would like, I'm going to leave these here. You can take one. We're asking all the municipalities, like I said again, to please, as an officer, we'll have a lot of cards in our shirt. If they can take and place this card in their shirt, whether it's the sheriffs or whoever, some of the smaller municipalities, just to arm them with that number. And I guarantee you this, they call that number, you're going to get somebody to answer the phone. Our dispatch is 24/7. It may not be a middle of the night response, but we're going to arm them and get the help that they need based on each individual situation. So if anybody has any questions.
So what I'm asking the commission, I have, what we are running into is that the cooperation from the municipalities to actually to come to the class. So I have set up an appointment with him to go to Hoover. He has, I think it's on the 19th or something like that. And so we are asking for him to come to the mayor's, the mayor's breakfast that y'all have and talk to them. We have on the 20th, we're going to the Ministers Alliance, and we have different appointments that we have set up. I was trying to get all of them, all the meetings in place where they can actually come and take the class. So I'm asking the commission, is there any way we can send this out to all of the municipalities in Jefferson County and all of our sheriff and police departments to get them to participate, because they are not asking us for money. This is the only veterans program like this in the country. So it started here in Jefferson County. So all we need is some cooperation, and I don't know why they don't want to, they're not responding like they should about something that we have in this really, we have a big problem with homeless people. A lot of them are veterans. It's so many things that this program offers.
Why don't we get him to come to the Mayor's Association.
That I got
Get
that.
on the agenda.
I got that set up. We working with his office. Get that set up. We got this stage here, so I need to come in your area.
Come to the Mayor's Association luncheon, we can get you
Okay.
that would be, because that's where all a lot of them
So is the luncheon different than the breakfast?
do. Yeah. Breakfast is generally a region. Mayor's Association luncheon is for everybody.
Okay, so we'll make sure you get on that.
Thank you so much. Let me ask this question, Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that in your presentation, you mentioned about the Eastern Area Clinic, which I was there for their grand opening. Very proud of it. It's very nice. Commissioner Knight and I shared in that area. I would be interested, and I'll make sure my staff get your number, in what ways you feel that we can be supportive of what you're doing. Law enforcement now is not, it's not one of those jobs that a lot of people are hurrying up to sign up for. So whatever I think that we can do to be supportive of your efforts, in addition to what you all have already coordinated, then I would be more than happy to do that. Thank you so much.
And I did want to ask one more thing, Commissioner Knight, if y'all, you can go ahead on, then I can ask this next.
I was just going to ask you, like y'all are on patrol and you run into somebody that's needs intervention, are y'all able to transport them, or do you have to call on somebody else responding to them?
Well, generally, our patrol is limited to the hospital as far as actual patrol. So that's why we're needing that help from local law enforcement to be able to do that. So we have situations where we can respond out, and what it does for local law enforcement, I realize there's a shortage everywhere. What it does is it'll get that officer back in service, where we'll execute a salt handoff and we can go take them in, and then that deputy sheriff or that police officer can get back in service, and we can go get the veteran the help that they need. So we are able to respond. Our normal patrol areas kind of reserved to the hospital area, the clinics, all across the state or whatever. So yes, sir.
How many are
Yes.
able to dispatch people?
Our team consists of, we have 3 people right now. We're looking to have a 5-person team that's going to include 3 officers. And so we're not going to supersede local law enforcement if they're making an arrest or something like that. That's not what we're trying to do.
You're an added resource.
Yes, sir. We're just a resource. And then we have a VJO, Veteran Justice Officer, which even if that officer is going to arrest the veteran, we want to link them up with that VJO because they can facilitate getting them through the system with the court and stuff.
Do you have an explanation deeper than this if we were, say person?
Yes,
And
sir.
I would send a letter to our mayors, to the mayor that I represent,
Yes, sir.
and ask them for either an audience or to be able to implement the program.
Yes, sir. I can send it to you.
Greater, and then I can give them one of these too, because
Yes.
I think it's a very good program.
Thank you, sir.
And look forward to seeing more of it, and you're actually improving the quality of life and actually saving. So, appreciate what you said.
Yes, sir.
We
Thank you
do
so
have
much.
a PowerPoint presentation that my office will send to each commissioner in Helen. I can send it to her, but
It may be something if we can
It's not
do
that long.
Maybe we can link it to the different police departments. You know, something like that where they can go online and look at that and see this and get a more detailed explanation similar to what we've received today. Because what I'm hearing is that we're lacking the communication to get this program out. And one thing that we could do as a commission is help facilitate that, since we represent everyone in Jefferson County, and get this out. So it's a win-win. I can't see any way we could lose that.
and we do have participation with Cooper Green, so they are going to actually come to a class that we're giving, do a presentation on the 20th. So they will be a part of that. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I-
Thank all of you, appreciate your time, man.
And I want to ask the commission one question about the community grant for the National Veterans Day Foundation. I wanted to see if y'all wanted to participate and give funding for that. I had forgotten about that. It's for next year's parade. Because we gave
Why don't we worry about that on our next budget cycle? I think that one would be a good community project. Commissioner Knight, that's your,
public service.
yeah.
And then you can.
That way we come out of each individual, just come out, because this is something that helps the entire community.
So,
Joe, you okay with that?
We look at all the requests, yeah.
I would recommend that.
Are you asking us to vote on this one today?
No, I was offering her an alternative to put it on next, in our budget cycle, which will begin in a couple of months.
yeah. No, he tried it. I'm saying,
Same for next year.
yeah.
It'll be.
That's
it'll be-
November.
it'll be
That's
a-
in November.
It'll be a tight turnaround
Yeah.
next year, then we get that budget done and up and running, so.
Yeah, and
And
that's,
they need planning probably before that.
they need, because it's, it's hard for them to get sponsors and it's, people are not giving like they used to.
And you proposed 12,000.
Yeah. And if we, at least we'll be, I'm trying to get it to where they won't, as soon as I.
Let's hold this one, let me look at where we at in contingency fund, maybe we can fund it out of that, so we don't have to get it the budget. Yeah, we can just hold
We
that.
have some other.
Yeah, I think, yeah, well, if we can table this and let Commissioner Knight look at it through the thing.
So do you still want to proceed forward with
No,
your
we
item,
can-
or you rather withdraw?
Can I withdraw this?
You can withdraw it.
Yeah.
So I'll withdraw my,
And Michael, I'll let you.
Mike,
Yeah.
don't run my house.
so Commissioner, you willing to withdraw your item, so I'll withdraw my, my motion, and then you second it, so you can withdraw it, and then we can officially take it off the agenda.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, you step, so I'm asking for this to be pulled off the agenda
Yeah?
With, to be reconsidered at a,
at a later date.
Yeah?
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you so much.
That leads us to our Administrative and Infrastructure Committee. We have Road and Transportation. Got payment for track 27 on North Chalkville Road, and payment for track 31 on North Chalkville Road, and we've got Bell Hill Road, Mount Olive Road, release of right-of-way Clip Plain, Glade, Old Tuscaloosa Highway, and Lowtown Road, the utility agreement. That is the third. The first two do not have a, is that all together? All three of these together with $55,000, that ain't look like enough. Where are you, Chris?
Right here. What is, so, number 5, is that what you're asking about?
Yeah, no, I'm looking at 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, okay. They're separate. One's a payment for a tract in North Chalkville, separate. 2 is a payment for a separate tract, North Chalkville. 3 is the Bell Hill Road, 100% of right-of-way acquisitions. This is just a disclosure of that. Item number 4 is a vacation of right-of-way that was deeded from Mount Olive Fire and Rescue to the county, where no funds were transferred, and we're deeding some of that back for future improvements.
Okay, and what we got is just not, 3, 4, and 5 should have been placed a little bit differently instead of in the same paragraph.
No, I have 5 I accept.
Okay, well, see, I don't.
Oh, you don't?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Oh, he has an old agenda.
Yeah.
Your agenda may look different.
Yeah, and it did, that's okay. So 3, 4, and 5.
Okay.
yeah, I didn't understand that.
But,
Well, we can move items 1 through 8.
I move 1 through 8.
1 through 8, I have
Yeah,
a motion.
second.
1 through 8.
Yeah, that's my point.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, he's second.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
County Attorney, thank you. Minutes from the January 25th meeting,
Move items 1 through 3.
1 through 3, civil litigation, thank you. And second, all in favor?
Aye.
We have ARPA funding, the YMCA Roebuck Community. That looked like a very worthwhile project. I believe we have someone here to speak on that.
Yes, sir, I'm here, and also Dan Powell.
That'd be great.
Mr. President, and while we're en route to that, if there are no questions, I move items 1 through 4.
Second. Items 1 through 4 have been moved and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Now, Mr. Lanier.
Okay. Good morning. I will. Good morning, Commissioners. The YMCA is redeveloping its location in Roebuck, and that redevelopment is going to include 3 partnering agencies, Health Crisis, Impact, and also Habitat for Humanity, where they're going to put 22 properties on the land. Up in front of you on the screen, you'll have the actual location that's going to be involved. The next, go to the next one more. That's a rendition of what it's going to look like when they complete the project. Because of construction costs, they have a gap of about $1.8 million, and they're asking the county to assist them with that funding.
Well,
I've seen the documentation. I think it's a great project. My hat's off to you and the ones that put it together.
I'd also note they will serve youth that, will, in that area that will possibly help take some of the load off our youth attention. So
That's fair. I'll not discuss that. It's a good idea that they can go there.
And I was going to add to that, too, that just for public consumption, and thank you, commissioners, for all of us working together in order to get this item approved. We need to be aware, I said 3/5 of the commission, but actually they serve as 4/5 of the commission, meaning that it will take in that Roebuck area, but it also does Clay, Chalkville, Gardendale, Fultondale, Trustful, Avondale, Woodlawn, near Phillips Academy. We also have Pinson, Centerpoint, Eastlake, Woodlawn, Tarrant, Trustful, and Irondale. Irondale being in your district, and then those others are in District 4, also in District 2. So when you talk about near Phillips Academy, that is in the downtown area, and that is in District 2. So I kind of wanted to correct that. I have been saying 3/5, but it's actually 4/5 of the county will be serviced, and the wraparound services are impeccable. But I did want to take this opportunity to thank all those involved, the county manager's office, for the due diligence that you all did to help prepare and bring this all together so that it could be favorable for us to consider. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Mr. County Manager, and thank you, commissioners, for seeing the vision and recognizing the footprint that they'll be able to service in our county.
thank you, man.
Makes you feel good to be a commissioner, doesn't it?
It does when you're keeping families together. Yep.
And it follows more of our mission, what we do as a commission. Mission as a commission
That's right.
is to improve the quality of life, and this indeed does. Thank you. Appreciate Baron
Yeah.
and county manager for that also. And I think Sherry's done a great job. You bet.
I'll be real brief.
Okay.
Real brief.
Yeah, you went ahead, man.
Yeah, you know. Well, I don't know, the only thing you can do is back up.
Well, is that the kitchen? I really just want to say thank you. I want to let you guys know that the YMCA of Birmingham is very bold and progressive. When we started looking at what our needs are in the community, our volunteers decided that we were going to look at the unmet needs, not needs. And if you think about it, a lot of organizations want to migrate to needs, and that's the easy route. We decided we're going to go where no one else could. We did about a year-long study. We determined that health inequities, early learning inequities, housing inequities, especially home ownership, which creates stable communities, those are really critical. And then the pandemic even brought out more issues around mental health, the lack of mental health care. We realized that we couldn't do it by ourselves, so we assembled some of the best partners in the city. Christ Health, as was mentioned, they're going to do a pediatric clinic. Impact Family Counseling is going to put in a world-class counseling center and also deal with crisis intervention, that we know there's a lot of crisis in the community. Habitat for Humanity is our big partner as well, 22 homes. And then Meals on Wheels is part of the United Way partnership. They're going to help us with food distribution. What I'm getting at is this project represents a really bold vision of how we can be transformational, not just incremental in our work. And you guys and your help, it really, really matters. Inflation just killed us when it came down to construction costs. And you guys are really helping close the gap. I was telling Mr. Knight yesterday, when we're done, we're going to put this in a binder and pass it around, because this whole program can be replicated all over the country, not just here in Jefferson County. So it is a way that future YMCAs are going to look, where it's a community center, not just a health and workout center. So I want to just tell you thank you.
Can I ask you one question?
Yes, ma'am.
Have y'all found a location for it? You said the YMCA. The new location, y'all don't see a move from downtown?
We have not sold that building yet, so we're not sure what we're going to do, other than we have the youth center downtown, and then of course we're going to actually move our headquarters to the Roebuck location. So that's another thing that we want to do, is be bold enough to be where we're going to create communities, and we're going to be a part of that. But we don't have a solution for the downtown Y yet, and that really hinges on us selling that property. As you know, no one wants to buy anything now because of interest rates.
Right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I apologize for that. Get it back next time, we'll do it. I'm gonna put it on silent, because I was getting ready to find Barnett when it rained $500.
That was hers, actually. It's called throwing him under the bus.
I have no other business, so come before our commission. Do you have anything from your perspective? Your respect?
Can we finish the agenda?
It would be you.
All right. Finance. Next.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have our normal purchasing agenda, encumbrance report, and purchasing exception report, which are items 1 through 6. Item number 7 is our procurement card statement for Jefferson Credit Union. Item number 8 is our unusual demand report. Item number 9 is a department assessment for the Board of Equalization. We're still continuing to do continuous improvement, making sure that we document our processes. There are some key retirements that are happening in Board of Equalization, so we want to make sure that we are prepared, since it represents such a large base for our revenues. Do we have any questions on those items?
Move items 1 through 9.
Have a motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Multiple staff development. Do I have any questions, or do I have a motion? I'll
Move it. Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, Board of Registrars, Mr. Stevenson.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Today we have an amendment to extend our agreement with our mapping software vendor. This is our mapping and redistricting software. You all have seen this and how effective it is. It also helps us to, it is interfaced with our voter registration system. So it allows us here in Jefferson County, I believe, to have the best of both worlds, the best GIS system that's interfaced with our voter registration system. So this is extending that for 3 years. Some the terms of the agreement are the same. We're just extending it 3 years.
I move the item. All right.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Actually, I wanted to tell Barry, Mr. Stevenson, how much I appreciate the notification that has come out as relates to our voter cards, and making sure that everyone knows exactly where they're supposed to go. I didn't even know I had moved from one congressional district to another. So,
Yeah.
so I'm thankful that we receive that information in time enough so you know exactly when you go to the polls, where you are even congressionally, because I moved from one district to another and didn't know it, and have been asked that question. So I do want to thank you all for the work that you're doing to make sure that people are notified, voters are notified ahead of the election, so we know what we're doing.
Thank you. Well, a couple of things. With the new congressional district was put in South Alabama, but it affected us because the lines moved to make population equalization between congressional 6 and 7. So it affected almost 90,000 voters here in Jefferson County. So we could tell when the cards hit because we started getting calls. People had been in 6 and now they're in 7, or they're in 7 and they're in 6. So we're trying to get the information so there'll be an informed voter, because the primary is 4 weeks from today. We are under 30 days and we're on the countdown. And so we want to get that information out.
You mind sharing exactly what we're doing to make sure that 90,000 are beyond the cards, or is there any other form of communication that we're kind of leading voters?
Yes, so we've
that
done the
they can
communication.
participate?
We'll put stuff's going to be on our website. I've already done an interview with Fox 6. I'm doing an interview in the morning with 3340. As it gets closer, I'll also be doing interviews with the other television stations. And then also the Secretary of State is supposed to start a voter information outreach in the next few weeks, where they're telling people where they can find the information. The best place a voter can go is alabamavotes.gov. They can find all their individual information, where they vote, what districts they're in, whether it's congressional, commission, state house, state senate. If they want to get an absentee ballot application, if they need to update any information such as a name change or address change. And so that's supposed to be starting in a couple of weeks as we count down toward the primary date. And that will help greatly.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
We moved your box over to East St. Clair, so.
Whatever.
Circuit clerk, we have.
Can you carry the vote?
I think she said we did.
Okay.
I asked.
Okay.
Go with it.
Okay.
All right, we have circuit clerk, we got absentee election manager, Birmingham Division.
If there aren't any questions, move items 1 through 3.
First and in the second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Developmental Services. Stuart Morrison.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
First, I just want to touch on, there is a carryover case. It's not on the pre-commission agenda today, but it will be on the agenda for Thursday. If you remember last public hearing, there was a request for a garden home subdivision, 150 lots. Garden home subdivision down on Triple H Ranch Road, just south of Ross Bridge, and they requested to be carried over. So this case will be on the agenda for Thursday. And this, the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval with some conditions regarding there's a cell tower site. They just wanted to be sure that cell tower site had access, and there was an adequate setback for any new housing that was in proximity to that cell tower site. Also, condition for sidewalks to be constructed within the development and for a buffer along Triple H Road, which would mirror that is on the opposite side of Triple H Road, where there's a buffer from the Ross Bridge development itself.
What was the reason we carried it over?
There was an issue on the property itself. If you see here in the aerial photograph, a lot of these houses here, right there along the Triple H Ranch Road side, they have access via a driveway that cuts through this property. And they were looking at solving that or addressing that issue before they brought it to you. There may be a revised site plan. I talked to the developer, he called me the other day. There may be some revisions. I'll put those on the screen if I get those by close of business.
Michael, I actually heard from some residents last night on there. I need a better definition of a buffer shall be constructed. What's the buffer going to consist of? I understand there's a 50-foot buffer on Triple H Road. That's backs up to Ross Bridge. How much of a buffer will that be, and what type of buffer vegetation will we have on?
All right. Currently, between the two developments, a buffer is not required. What the condition is for the buffer along Triple H Ranch Road, and in discussing it P&Z meeting, the developer didn't want to specify a specific amount, they just wanted to say you would give one. But that's a conversation we could have with him Thursday.
Well, that's a conversation we need to have before we approve this.
Well, like I said,
Before you get my vote on it. We need a buffer between that and all the bridge residents.
I'll make more.
And I would move this to the agenda, but it will be contingent upon getting some answers for on that particular buffer.
We'll make it more.
Yeah, we'll get it to the agenda and then you can address that.
Sure.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
Well, that
Well, it's already.
I was just bringing it up because that's going to be on the agenda.
All right.
All right, first item I've got is a resolution adopting a new some new zoning district regulations. This is one entirely new zoning classification. Currently, we have an R7, which is a planned unit development district, but in that R7, it does call for building setbacks, it does call for separation of uses. This, the MX-PUD district, would allow for mixed-use developments with mixed-use buildings. Think downtown Birmingham. I know that they've done some revitalization downtown Fairfield as well as Bessemer. You have an older downtown where they're building, you've got your commercial on the bottom and you've got your residential on the top. Ross Bridge, there's a section of Ross Bridge that has these sort of mixed-use developments or mixed-use buildings within the development itself. It calls for reduction of front setbacks so that you can bring the buildings themselves to a sidewalk network. It's oriented towards pedestrian activity. We did build in some buffers along major arterials, and also it does call for a small portion of the property to have at least some sort of green or open space with it as well. This did go through the Regulations Committee, the Planning and Zoning Commission. They recommended approval, and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval at their December public hearing.
All right, this is for urban areas?
Yes, this would be something that we could look at for where we've got pockets of unincorporated county where there is adequate infrastructure. We've got some areas over the Mountain Rockbridge Road. This could come into play in places like Shannon. This could come into play in places like McCalla, where we've got a lot of development going on, where that infrastructure is there. And basically, it would be creating its own separate kind of development, kind of like Ross Bridge, kind of like you got Mount Laurel out in Shelby County, and there's several developments like this nationwide. It's kind of becoming a trend where you create these sort of dense little pocket communities where you've got the ability to have residential above commercial, and again, a lot of activity, commercial activity with shops, with restaurants, with even things like clinical and medical care. And another thing what we did with this district was allow for anything that's allowed in the commercial zone, but we took out anything that's auto-oriented. So you couldn't have like a car wash or automobile repair or anything like that. And what this would allow for is more, again, pedestrian activity in a centralized location. This came to us as a proposal for a particular site in question. And anyway, I would look forward to this being utilized for that particular site as well. That may be coming down the pike sometime within the next year.
All right, do I have a motion? And a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Move to the agenda. All right, C-23-0044.
Yes, this is one of our cleanup jobs. This is a property out in the Mount Olive area. You'll notice on the zoning map, there's a small portion or spot on this property that's on I-1 Industrial. It was done so in the 1980s to facilitate a garage, an automotive repair garage. Since that time, that operation has ceased, and the applicant has since come in and applied for an electrical permit for a barn, which is perfectly allowable in A1 zone. You notice all the property around it along Brookside Road is solely, completely A1. This would just be making this entire property A1, just like its neighbors. And Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval.
Move.
Second.
A motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, C-23-0045.
Yes, this is a property out on Springer Road, out west of McCalla. Currently, the property has a church on it. The church has gone defunct. Some folks have purchased the property and converted it into a residence. And as the surrounding area, the area surrounding the zone A1, they requested the A1 agricultural zoning for this property. Again, Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this request.
Move.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Z-23-0046.
Yes, this property is a small portion of a much larger property. It used to be a strip mine about 15, 20 years ago. Since that time, the property's fallen under new ownership, and the current property owner is currently using the majority of the property for cattle grazing. However, they did want to set up a portion of the property for a mobile home for the property owner's son. With that being said, the Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval. Just as a side note, the property owner is investigating whether or not there are any mineral resources remaining on the property. As soon as he gets some information back on that, if there's not any, he plans on rezoning the entirety of his property, which is several hundred acres, down to A1.
Move it.
Second.
Second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Z230047.
Yes, this is a property out in the Martintown area. It's currently zoned R3, which would only allow for a two-family dwelling or a duplex. A lot of this is old legacy zone. A lot of this, if you guys see on the zoning map, most of the area around it surrounding it is zoned A1 agriculture. The applicant is requesting to rezone to A1 agriculture so that he can place a mobile home on the property for himself. Again, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommends approval. This area does have it's an older area of the county. The housing stock is kind of older. We've got a lot of demolition requests that have been going on in this area. And there are some scattered mobile homes as well. So again, citing that, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this request as well.
Is this unincorporated?
Yes.
Where is it located? You've given me a...
Martin Street is off of Eastern Valley,
Yeah,
just south of the city of Westwood. But yes, it's Commissioner Tyson's.
Commissioner Tyson's district. It's by Marktown, by Joe Jackson.
Yeah, this is Bo Jackson Avenue is just down the street, and yes, that.
So it probably abuts to the city limits. I think that the city dump and all is
right. It's kind of on the back end side.
Shooting range and all that is right there. So
That's like over the railroad track. Is that on the other side?
Not right here. That's further south. That's further south.
yeah, this is
Commissioner. If the town hall meeting that we had that neighbor, that the church where we had the town hall is just right around the corner.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yes, ma'am.
Do I have a motion?
Move that.
A motion second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. EMA has a grant agreement where they're trying to set up a grant for AA and ASD affiliate. Do I have a motion?
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, general services, I have 4 items. If there are any questions on any of the 4
Move
items?
items 1 through 4.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Move items 1 through 5.
Can I ask one question about this on general service?
Okay.
So I received a call about someone trying to
Giving out parking spaces.
decorate one of the building, where the taxes at, where the tax assessor's office at.
Do it?
They are supposed to be changing a break room over there into
in Center Point?
No, in Bessemer.
I have no idea.
So is at the
Trish, are you on the line?
Trish is out this week.
where the
Trish is not on this.
Someone.
Oh, she is.
She said she is. Hold on, she said she is.
Trish, we have a question here.
I'm here. I'm on Thursday.
Can you hear what the question was?
Cal just really answered it. They do need to come to us in order to do any construction on, because they're talking about, at least the new guy in there talking about changing the break room into an office, and that would take up, they won't have a break room.
They need to coordinate any proposed change with general services so we can come talk to you about it.
He said that he didn't have to do that. He told me.
He does.
I'll reach out to Mr. Curry.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Curry's in there. Shaking. All right, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank
All right.
you.
Have a motion on 1 through 5 on mine, and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. As you know, today the legislature convened, so get your battle gear ready. And a shout out to Mr. Luke Crowder for winning the Grammy Award for producing a letter for Killer Mike the other night. He's from Birmingham. That ends my report. Mr. Dole.
Yes, sir, Mr. President. We have nothing from economic development or other business, but for information technology, we do have number one. And
Move the item. If there are any questions.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And to committee.
Were you up all night preparing your agenda?
We work together.
County attorney, any news? No news, good. County manager,
No.
yours means you're not doing it. Just kidding. I mean, everything's going very smooth. Anything from the sheriff's department?
Everything going good?
Again, no news, good. Anything from the commission?
I would like for us to really focus on this, to make sure we make this veteran program happen, because what they're asking us for is really is nothing.
Just communication.
Right, and that's what they're not getting, and it's so important that we make this happen. I had an opportunity, I'm a member of all of the posts, and most of them are retired veterans. They are doing a run in April for violence. They are seeing a big increase in reserve armed forces and active armed forces children. So they have started a run to raise money for violence initiatives, especially within our community. And it's a problem, and it's growing. And we just really need to address it, and I don't think that we really are, especially with the climate it is now. You don't know when a war will break out. And the enlisted personnel they're not able to recruit like they should. You know, it's not many people want to join the military now. So they are using more of their reserve people. We have a lot of reserve members here in the county. So
I think those three that were killed recently.
yeah, and President, I would like for us, and that's why I've been taking it around. You know, it is time consuming, but it's worth my time, because I serve. So I get it, and I understand their families when they go off 2 and 3 years, their children and wives, and some of the husbands are left back here with the kids, because some of the women are active, and they leave their husbands and the kids back here, and you know they miss their parent. So if we could really just it's not going to take a lot. I will do the leg work. I just need to make sure that we get on our public officials and the law enforcement within Jefferson County to make this thing happen. That's all they need is for them to come to the class. They're not asking for any money or nothing. Just about half a day to come and attend this class, and we're going to laminate these cards where they can put it on their shirt, and they can just call where they can get some assistance to these veterans.
Mr. Stevens, if I could add on, I do want to mention everybody that the Sheriff's Office has we've trained over 500 law enforcement officers in a very similar program at the Sheriff's Academy. I'm privileged to get to be part of that class. And the VA folks have asked me to join in and teach in that class. Several of our Sheriff's Office folks are helping. We've been coordinating a lot. And these VA guys, Officer Yearwood, who was here today, he's just really done a great job. He came to our class, and this effort actually arose out of the Sheriff's Office initiative, is where they decided to start teaching this class. So just want to say we are coordinating really, really well with those folks right now from the Sheriff's Office.
Sounds like a plan. Helen, if you will help them get this information out. You know, most of our law enforcement have their background in the military. They originated from there, so it should be an easy deal to get that done. And I appreciate on behalf of the commissioner everything that you're doing. Anyone else? We're adjourned.